Hello, justtwogood here. So our next summer 2021 Infinity Saga Marvel set is the Iron Monger one. This is the Iron Man Iron Monger Mayhem, and this has a total of 479 pieces, 3 minifigures, retailing for $40 in the United States, where it releases August 1st, 2021. And I got this a little bit early from my friend Tom Jurassic, so go check out his website, links in the description. Let's take a look at the minifigures. This set is the first time we're ever getting the Mark III Iron Man, and this minifigure looks fantastic, where we have the return of that old Sal helmet. And to do that, you can just flip that open, and there you go. You can see the face print underneath. That's super nostalgic. Oh, great. Now it's become a nostalgic piece as they switch to the Invincible Iron Man helmet. I guess they always kept this in the MCU. You can see some back torso printing, and with the helmet removed, there's some back face printing, which this is the design they've been using since Infinity War. Makes sense here because now you can have that heads-up display with the helmet removed. And also, the front face printing is standard. We do have a hair piece as well if you want to just take off the helmet and have Tony Stark. That's a pretty nice feature to include too. And of course, with all the power blasts, there's a different Iron Man design where Iron Man looks a little bit decked out. All those pieces are pretty common, except getting this ground part is nice to get, which is fairly new for this year. It does come in a junior set, which is a little bit cheaper though. You also have another blast, which you could swap out for Iron Man. As for Obadiah Stane, we have a new torso and face print, which that fits the character very well. First time we're ever getting this character in minifigure form too. A little bit of back torso printing. And then finally for Pepper Potts, the torso print is new, which is a really nice suit. The face print is one that's pretty overused at this point. I kind of wish they went with a different face print for her, especially since she has like brown eyebrows here. I don't know, it just doesn't really look like the character. So for the main build of the Ironmonger, compare that to the size of the Iron Man minifigure, and you can see that this is actually pretty oversized, at least looking at what we had to work with from the movie. But with this overall design and overall added size, there is more posability than I'd expect. But let's first start by taking a look at that head area. And this whole area covers the cockpit where we have this nice printed face. I like the use of that piece that sometimes they put on shoulders, and you can see how that just connects with those two pole connections, and it just has a really nice looking print. And you can easily lift up that mask and reveal the minifigure inside. That's just connected with two of those pole connections right there. And inside we have enough space to fit one minifigure sitting down. You also have that 1x2 print of the control panel up front, which is nothing exclusive to this set. And there's also an exclusive 3x3 that glows in the dark. Now this is one of the ones found in the LEGO Mario line, and you can see a little bit of that glow in the dark action there. But we haven't gotten it in that color before. And then they put a sticker over it, which is kind of annoying to have a sticker on a circular piece. But I guess it's good for those who want to use that piece and don't want a print attached to it. Let me plop Obadiah back in there. And moving on from that section, the added details with the shoulders are pretty interesting. I like how they use these pieces connected to another pole connection, so that when you get some movement out of the arms right here, it does go in and out just a little bit, but it's secured there very well. That's pretty cool in its build. That's the same with this arm right here. But like I said, you can get some nice movement out of these shoulders and arms, where you have a shoulder joint right here. And this guard, which has two stickers on it, is attached just with a clip connection, and that just positions over that shoulder joint, covering it just a bit. Then we have another sticker right here. And then we have another section of a ball joint, which is this mid joint. You get some movement there. And at the very end, with the hand design, you have 3 fingers closer to each other and then 1 separate, all of them clipped on, and you can move those individually and get some rotation with that center part there. This left arm has this Gatling gun, as I call it, where you have 6 studs that you could shoot just by twisting this back area. And oh my gosh, those studs just went everywhere around the room. But that's it for the left arm. Just looking at some of the detail a little bit more closely. Nice tube right there, and I like all these clipped arm pieces to make it look a lot more mechanical. As for the right arm, the posability is the same, where you have this socket shoulder joint connection, which gets some nice rotation, a clip connection covering up the ball joint connection at the shoulder there with these 2 stickered pieces, a mid joint connection with a side-to-side ball joint connection, some rotation at the hand right there, and the little individual fingers. But the weapon here is different, where we have a 1x1 tile shooter, And this is just clipped on, so you could get some movement up and down out of this piece. And all you have to do to activate that is just push this back part, and those 1x1s just shoot out. You get some extras in the set, but they're a very common 1x1 translucent orange coloring. But either way, that's it for the functions of the hands. Now let's take a look at the lower half of this dude. So first off, that body has some nice rotation in the middle right there, which you could move all around. That's pretty neat. And then for the lower half, we have some socket joints at the top of these legs right here, which get some nice movement as well. You have no mid joints, unfortunately, so no knee joints or anything. But you do have a ball joint at the very bottom for the feet, which gets some nice rotation, as well as these two toes, which are clipped on, which you can move up and down. And for the specific leg design, two stickered parts at the front here, also another sticker at the bottom, which you can kind of see. And that's the same with this leg as well. And there's some more added details at the side, as well as another one of those connections with that nice pole piece, but since there's no joint in between, it's not doing any of that moving. And then at the very bottom, as I showed with the feet, you got those two toes, which are clipped on, which you can move up and down. Not too much going on here, but looks very mechanical, which I think fits the Iron Monger design. But either way, let's pose this boy up. So here's the first pose, which looks pretty darn cool. This next almost fall-in-like pose. And then one more twisty pose right here. But we're not done with the builds because there's also this crate side build. I love getting this crate piece in a black coloring. That's just uncommon. And then also getting this 1x1 print, which is an update of the keypad print that was introduced a few years ago. It's the same part number, but just has a slightly different print. Inside, this just holds extra missiles for Iron Monger. But that's it for the builds of the set. Let's take a look at the packaging and the final verdict. And the box is that $30 long box design with some different shots at the back. And the instructions at the very end have an advertisement showing some of those new Infinity Saga sets, which you can see to the left right here, as well as some of those January sets. So overall, I think this is something that we've all wanted for a while, which is sets based off of the first Iron Man movie, specifically one with the Iron Monger showdown. And the execution here is well done with a very detailed build. I just think that it is pretty oversized. Like the Iron Monger suit feels not accurate to the movie because of that size. And you compare it to the Iron Man minifigure, it just looks way too overpowered in that regard. I do wish they downsized it, which would have sacrificed maybe some of the posability, maybe some of the details, but would have made for a more accurate design, and they could have made for a cheaper set. But still, I like features on there like the glow-in-the-dark arc reactor, the print on the head, and the general posability. And for somebody who gets tired of mechs easily, I think it's a different enough mech with its very mechanical design for me to really appreciate it. And then the minifigure selection I think is great, where you get a bunch of exclusive minifigures. I think all of them are exclusive one way or another. The design for Pepper Potts being the weakest, where the face print just doesn't look like her, and there's been a more accurate face print in the past that they're not using here. But beyond that, I really love the Obadiah minifigure the most. It's nice to get an update of the Mark III. So if all things considered, I'd rate this one a 7 out of 10. Could have downsized the general Iron Monger design and made for a cheaper set, but as it stands, I am still very happy with how it came out. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Bye.